What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through. Times don't fly too high. Be sure to keep the ground in sight. Fly forever if you keep it tight. Love the world but keep the sky on your mind.
All right, let's get this started. Let's get this started. Okay, I'm just checking up some sim brief data here. Just checking up some sim brief stuff. Okay. There we go. All right. Okay, so today I am going to be flying the A400M by Inibuilds. That aircraft is by default included in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. So I'm gonna see how that goes. I haven't really flown it. I'm not very used to it. But it is very similar to other Airbus aircrafts. It's particularly very similar to the A380 and a lot of other Airbus aircrafts. It's very similar. So we're gonna give it a shot. Doesn't seem like something that is too difficult to operate. So we're gonna try that out right now. Anyway, I feel like my sound is a little too loud today. Hopefully that's not the case, I'm not too sure. Just trying to plug in my goddamn controller here. Yeah, okay. To fly this one, I think I need reverse thrust, don't I? Yeah, I do. So let me just plug in my joystick and throttle quadrant. There we go, that's done. Let's get to cracking. Let's get to cracking. Right, here it is, the beautiful A400M. Let's take a good look at it. Oh, I have my Chrome open. That's not good, because that always gives me issues when it comes to CPU. I don't know what it is, but my CPU usage is slightly too high to get smooth rates today. Yep, there we go. Something isn't right. Oh god, why do I have these issues? I don't know, but something is not right again. Yeah, something isn't right with the stream. Something is not right with the stream. Yeah. I'm not too sure what it is. But I have changed the settings that I can. And still seem to be having issues here. Okay. I think 4K streaming isn't really working out. Yeah. Anyway, let's try and take a look at this aircraft. We'll get rid of the ground chocks here. There we go. Wheel chocks, I should say. The A400M looks really cool. Looks really cool. Very beautiful aircraft, as you can see. I believe this is military transport. It does have a ramp that you can open, right? I think so. I think you can open this stuff. I'm not too sure. Yeah, you can. You can do that from the tablet, if I'm not completely mistaken, but you can. Very, very nice. For some reason, my stream is not functioning as it should. Yeah. It is no good at the moment. I can't change the settings while I'm streaming. Obviously not. I don't know what's wrong with this. Okay, maybe that will help. I don't know. Anyway. Without further delay, I don't think we have anything else to remove here in terms of ground covers and chocks and stuff. Yeah, this is clearly not working here. The streaming is just, I don't know what is wrong with it. It's just too heavy. My settings have messed up again. Okay, let me try and get in here. There we go. Welcome to our cockpit here. Let's see what we can do. Go back to the streaming settings, see if I can change some stuff. See if I can change some stuff. Yeah. Not sure if I should... yeah, this isn't working. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. Okay, anyway, let's just get into it, see what happens. Something isn't right. We're getting laggy. It's laggy on the stream, I can tell it is. The frame rate isn't great in the simulator either, but in the simulator it's much better than what it is in the stream. In the stream, and in addition to that, my sound is out of whack as well. Slightly too loud, and I can't seem to adjust it. I don't know what's going on today. Today is just one of those days where everything just goes to crap. Yeah, it's not working. Anyway, whatever. We're just gonna go ahead and get this aircraft started up. So battery is on. Yes, it is. Let's switch to external power here. Everything else here doesn't even work. So many of the stuff, many of the buttons and things, they don't really work. So we don't really have much to do. Nav lights on. Emergency lights can go to armed. Seat belts and stuff, you can turn that on. ADIR systems. There we go. That's that's functioning, I suppose. Okay, we're gonna leave it like this for the time being. We're gonna come here. We've got our FMC to program. So let's go to IRS. It's gonna be done in 2 minutes. It's gonna go ahead and request our flight plan for today. There we go. Mission number is FDNX. Oh yeah, we can't use the keyboard on this one. So I'm going to use FDNX and enter that. There we go. Departure. That's interesting. Okay. That's interesting. Departure runway is going to be, what is the departure runway for today? Let's have a look. Departure runway is going to be 36C. This one right here. Using Bobby Z5 right here. Transition today is Tinsley. I'll put that in. Got a discontinuity there. We're gonna get rid of it. Also gonna get rid of this, because we don't need it. There you go. Okay, so let's go to destination. Arrival. Runway is going to be 08 left today. Approach is going to be, well, let's try and use the ILS at 08 left if it works. Via, none of them. Star, we're going to use Odzi 2. And transition today, it's going to be Levy. Put that in. Insert that, remove that discontinuity right there. Let's keep going down. Make sure we're all clear all the way to... Ooh, we got a manual there. We're going to remove that as well, because we don't want it. Okay. Done. So all the way down there is good. Let's go back to our init. IRS should be aligned very, very soon. So we're going to wait for that. Yeah, definitely frame rates suffering there. Anyway. Whatever. Something is wrong. Yep, something is definitely wrong. I don't know what is wrong with this thing. Frame rates have tanked for some reason. Typical MSFS stuff here, I guess. I don't know, something is wrong. Yeah, it's impossible to get a good frame rate on this damn thing. Anyway, let's just go back here. Departure, nav aids. Let's have a look at our ILS for today. ILS for today. What is it into Atlanta? We're landing into runway 08 left. 08 left is over here. Frequency for 08 left is... Oh, that's the wrong frequency. Let's put in the correct identity here, which is IHFW. That is the 196 nautical miles one, 109.30, 95 degrees. Slope of 3 degrees, that is correct. Clear all of that. Good. So nav aids is done. The heck is this? Okay, in it. Let's go down to fuel and load now. For zero fuel weight today, we have 108,493 kgs, which is 108.5 ton. Zero fuel weight center of gravity, we're gonna get that from here. Let's download that from SimBrief. It's gonna apply the load there. 30.2. Okay, so we're gonna put that in there. Block fuel for the day is 9,907 kgs. That is 9.9 tons of fuel. Reserve. Alternate final. Let's just enter that. It's supposed to be 1.6 apparently. Let's try that. Okay, I don't know what that means. Not worried about it. Okay, we're done with that. Let's go to our init page and go to takeoff performance. The uprated. Let's try some uprated stuff. Outside air temperature today 11 degrees. Flaps 1. THs for, well, we don't have the gross weight here. THS is supposed to be 31.3, 1.5 up, so 31.3. Let's put 31.3 here. 31.3 gross weight. Done. Flaps 1 and all of that stuff. Takeoff performance. Insert all the takeoff data. We're done. That's enough for us. Climb performance. We don't need to worry about it. We're going managed. En route performance 0.69. Descending at 260. Approach. We'll fill this in when the time comes. So let's go down here. We'll leave approach right here. Let's go to our flight plan and we are ready to roll out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Before we go any further, let's switch to our APU up there. So let's go ahead and switch on APU master. APU start, please. And APU is coming to life over here. Flap is moving, says the ECAS over there. Where the hell is the flap? I don't know where the APU on this thing is, by the way. Je have no clue. Anyway, it's none of my concern right now. Let's set the atmospheric pressure for today, 1032. Is that correct? That should be correct. I really have no damn clue at the moment. Let's switch that to that. It's 30.47. That is correct. Brilliant. Okay, cruising altitude for today is supposed to be 32,000 feet, which is what we said it is, right? So I'm just going to go directly to 32,000. We're not going to stop at 10. We've got FD on. We got everything else exactly how we should have it. Everything is looking good. APU is coming to life. The mode here can be changed to that. And let's put the range down all the way. This one can remain like this. Let's see, where is the APU? on this damn thing. It's Inibuilds aircraft, so we might not see the exhaust. I don't know where the APU is. Is the APU here? No. There's the APU flap. I see the flap. Is that the APU flap? Is that the APU exhaust? Good lord, I can't tell. I think that's the APU right there. Yeah, that should be the APU exhaust right there, isn't it? But we don't have any smoke effect, any heat effect there. There's no heat blur going on. Typical Inibuilds bug there. That's an issue that they have with many aircrafts. Unless I'm looking at the wrong place, I have no idea. Anyhow, let's jump back in here. What else do we have to do here? I think we're pretty much ready to get ourselves out of here, aren't we? Yeah, we're pretty much ready to get ourselves out of here. We can start up the engines and get on out of here. Before we do, let's go ahead, turn on the APU generator on, please. External power cut. Let us go ahead and switch on every single fuel tank there. Followed by the APU bleed on, please. Thank you very much. That's going on. Let's go ahead and get the beacon lights up and running there. Probe can be put on dim. Everything else can remain off for now. We can turn on the wing light though. Everything else looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and start up the engines. And today we're just going to be taxiing out of here under our own power. Obviously we're not going to use a pushback today. So we don't really need to worry about that. We're taking off from runway 36C. Where is runway 36C? It's a long taxi out of here, but that's okay. We will probably make it, so it's gonna be okay. All right, time to start up the engines. Let's put our ignition to start there. Let's come down here. Let's start up our engines. Engine number 1. Before it comes to life. Engine number 2. We'll start with engine number 4 today, why not? That's available. Engine number 2 up. Engine number 2 available. Engine number 3 up. Engine number 3 available. Okay. We can drop our flaps to position number 1 here. Let's do that. Let's arm the ground spoiler. Let's put on our auto brake on RTO. Flaps are traveling at the moment down to takeoff position. We can now switch our engines to full run. There we go. They are running. Now this aircraft does have a very serious glitch. Let's first check the flight controls though. Now, before we check that, this aircraft does have one little glitch there, which is that the ground chocks remain on even though they've been visually removed. So we're gonna have to go to panel state and press ready for takeoff one more time, and you see it says chocks removed now. So from here we're gonna have to come down here and switch off certain things because we don't need them just yet. There we go. Apart from that, everything else is set exactly how it should be. TCAS is still on standby and all that good stuff. Landing lights and all that stuff, we need to put them back down to off for now. Turn on taxi light, they can come off. Beacon lights on both. Probe light on dim, wing lights still on, formation lights off. Okay, let's come up here. Our APU should be off now, which it is. Engine ignition is in normal. Everything else is precisely how it should be. That is brilliant. Cargo temperature 23. Well, that's good. APU bleed is off. If we come down here, I don't think APU is APU on? No, it can't be. Let's have a look. APU. What? APU is available. Switch it off. What the? What is APU doing? Soccer Liam. Hello there. You got your MSFS on PS5. Well done, man. Well done. I don't know why the APU still says available. It's supposed to be off. What the heck is going on here? Yeah, something wrong with the APU now. Something wrong with the APU. So I don't know what that is. The APU won't shut down. Let's try this again, shall we? Okay, now APU is off. Let me press APU again. There we go, that's much better. Alrighty. So it has a lot of weird glitches. But apart from that, I believe it does work. Okay. There we go. Alright. So how is it on PS5? Oh, you just getting... Oh, right, on Christmas Day. Wait, did you already get it? I'm confused. Or you're about to get it on Christmas? What is it going to be? Okay, so without further delay, let's get ourselves out of here. And I need to change the... I have a lot of stuff I need to change in this streaming settings now. Anyway, whatever, that's neither here nor there. Let's go ahead and release the parking brake and get ourselves out of here. There we go. Gonna make a nice little turn. Making a tight little turn there. Give it a bit of power. There we go. How beautiful is that? We are making that turn, ladies and gentlemen. What the? Okay, there we go. Thought for a second my throttle wasn't working there, but it is. So let's turn ourselves around and get to our runway today. It is a fairly long taxi today. The runway, I usually spawn in very close to the runways, but today I did not. There was a last minute change of the runway from Simbrief, so I'm going to go ahead here and taxi all the way down to that runway, which is not nearby, unfortunately for us. Nonetheless, you can enjoy the taxi on this beautiful aircraft. A little too quick. Still, that's okay. Alrighty. Gonna cross a runway here today. Let me just leave some runway lights, runway turn off lights on, some lights for the time being. Let's make that turn. We're supposed to be turning this way now. We're going to head up here. That's right, we're going to head up right here. I'm going to switch back to 2K streaming, because 4K streaming just isn't working out. Yeah, it's just not working out for me. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to take a left about here. Now let's go down here actually. This is Charlotte Douglas International Airport? Yeah, it is Charlotte Douglas International Airport. And we're heading on towards Atlanta today. Shouldn't take that long today, hopefully. Alrighty, let's taxi along all the way to runway 36C. The A400M. Beautiful looking bird, and I really like it. Unfortunately, it has a bunch of glitches. I wish they would really update it and work on this aircraft, because it's really good. And it has the potential to be a very, very nice one. But unfortunately, like many of the default 2024 aircrafts, it needs updates. Just isn't updated. Ooh, that's a little too fast. There we go. Continue down this taxiway though. And there is the runway that we're taking off from today. Perfect. No, not 10,000. What? 32,000, please. There we go. Now we've got to turn left. Oh, this is not the runway, by the way. My bad. That is not the runway we're going to be taking off from. We need to turn left and continue on for a bit more before we come to our runway to take off from. We're taxiing along very quickly here, but since it's a long taxi, I'm not really complaining. Plus, it's a military bird. So everybody knows military pilots do not fly for comfort, so it's alright. You can get away with overspeeding now and then. Which is lucky for us. I think the problem with this one is much of it isn't even modeled, is it? Yeah, a lot of the buttons on this thing are inoperable. Like all of this is it's just there. Oh, we've got LS button there. But nothing else. Much of it is inoperable, and that's not nice. The other military bird, the C-17, is the one by Miltech. It is much more detailed, I believe, when it comes to buttons and stuff. However, that one doesn't have a working VNav. And it's a very confusing thing to fly. So there we go. Not a lot in the. I think the only real good military transport might be the C-160 by Azur Poly. That might be the only real good military transport aircraft. At least large ones. So yeah, that's a shame. I really can't manage to buy anything at the moment, despite the massive sale going on. There's no point right now, so can't really grab anything. Okay, we're gonna pump to a break here. We are going to use this opportunity to turn on our strobe lights. Why not probe lights as well? Landing lights can come on. All of these lights can remain on here. Formation lights can go on as well. Why the hell not? Let's go ahead, turn on our TCAS here. Let's put on our weather systems, our surveillance stuff, predictive wind shear. With all of that done, I think we're pretty much ready to get on out of here. Just release parking brake and let's move. All right, ready for takeoff. The brakes are in the strongest in the world. Neither is it on the C-17 though, so. There we go. Let's get out of here. Okay, gear up. Autopilot 1. Ground spoilers disarmed.
Traffic.
There we go. Up and out of Charlotte here.
Clear of conflict.
Ignore that. That's our TCAS telling us a bunch of nonsense there. Why is auto throttle not working? There we go. Oh, we can put it at...
Traffic.
There we go. Come on,
Clear
TCAS.
of conflict.
I'm gonna put it on just TA. Okay. Everything should be working as expected. Runway turn off lights, they can go off as well. There we go. Beautiful. Where is Charlotte where we took off from? Right there. There is the airport. We are out of here. Look at how beautiful that sky looks. Goodness me, that is a good looking sky. If we hit 10,000 feet, we should go in and turn off the landing light there. There's the loading bay. Yeah, we should go in and turn off the landing light. So let's do that. Turn those off. We'll leave wing lights on. Everything else can remain pretty much on here. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave all of that on. Seatbelt signs can come to automatic, although this is not a commercial aircraft. Let's increase the range on that. Let's increase the range on that all the way to, there we go. Brilliant. Crossing 13,000 feet, not almost there at transition altitude. We should be. Speed limit exceeded. I do not care. Yeah, we should have crossed our transition altitude by now. Why on earth? Is it at 18,000 feet? Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Alright, is there anything else we need to look at the moment? Nothing. Flaps are up, everything is looking good. Just need to put the transition altitude. We need to switch the thing to standard there. Apart from that, everything looking good. Nice. Okay. Very, very beautiful. Let's just wait for switching the altimeters, and once we do that, we're gonna go down and have a good look around. Also switch to cinematic mode there and enjoy some views. There we go. Let's put that on standard. Let's do that on either side, shall we? They're not synced. There we go. Done. Let's go ahead and take a look at some views now, because all we have to do is just climb on out. When we reach somewhere near top of descent, we need to take a look at what our final altitude is, which is somewhere around 2,900 if I'm not mistaken. There we go, 2,900 is all we need to really worry about. Okay, so there you go. There you go. Brilliant. UTC timing there. UTC timing, do we? That's better. Good. Okay, let's check out some cinematic views here and enjoy the trip. Oh, there's a bit of reflection on this. It's better not to have this reflection than have these pixelated reflections on this window here on this side. So that sucks. Let's go this way. Oh yes, look at that view. Beautiful stuff. Alright, let's enjoy the views as we fly along all the way to Atlanta. And if there's anything that needs speaking about, I shall chime in. Apart from that, there's nothing else going on today, ladies and gentlemen. Alrighty, let's check up on the progress of this flight here. Got about roughly more than 120 nautical miles to Atlanta. And yeah, we do. Not that much distance left. Nothing else going on here. Yep. Very nice though. This damn reflection is ruining this view, so we gotta go this side. It is a very good view to leave it on as we fly along for the time being. I'm gonna switch back to cinematic. It's gonna be a while before we are anywhere near the top of descent. Before I go anywhere, let me check where the top of descent comes. It's somewhere here, which is top of descent is right here. It's after Dinnick, before wing. Before wing. So yeah, we're gonna leave that there. I'm gonna leave it to cinematic view. Yep, let you guys enjoy the views for the time being till we reach somewhere near top of descent. Okay. Let us see. There is top of descent coming up. So we're not too far away now from our top of descent. So I think it's time to get some stuff ready here. Namely, we need to go ahead and put in our altitude of 2,900. So I'm going to do that right away. In addition to that, we got to put in our approach data here. So we're going to have a look at how conditions are looking like at Atlanta at the moment. It is, let's come in here and put that in. Wind, Atlanta 140 at 6. So let's put that in. 140 at 6 knots. Outside air temperature in Atlanta at the moment is 14 degrees Celsius. Good. 14 degrees Celsius. QNH at Atlanta is... give me a second, let me read that off here somehow. How do I read the QNH? Good lord. I can't get the QNH. What? Let me just use this. What is it at Atlanta? QNH. Why can't I read the QNH here? I'm not getting a Q. It's supposed to be 3040. Okay. Give me a second while I convert that. Okay, so that is 1023 as our QNH. Let's put that in. 1023. Enter that. And I think that's pretty much all we need to do here. Oh, we have passed the top of descent, have we? We're coming up on it. We're coming up on it. So, there we go. This is gonna activate the descent right away. Good. Okay. Just gonna make sure that our data here is correct. So let me go back in here. Let's go to takeoff performance. Let's come to our approach. Our minimum radio is supposed to be 200. Flaps full, VLS at 109. Vertical deviation is decreasing, which is good. Transition altitude 18,000. Position monitor activating approach. We'll do that when the time is right. Okay. So we'll do that when the time is right. But for now, let's go back to our flight plan. And we are looking just fine. Looking just fine. We've caught up really well with our vertical profile here, and we seem to be doing well. Brilliant. Let's continue on with our descent. As required, we need to now just chime in when we reach near 10,000 feet to see how things are going. From there, we'll continue to make necessary adjustments. But apart from that, let's just continue till we get a little bit into our approach procedure. All right, let's go back to some views. Hello there, EM. How are you doing? Welcome to the live stream. Thank you very much for tuning in. We're flying in a big bird today, big fat military bird of A400 into Atlanta. That's what we're doing today. We are nearly there. We're descending down towards Atlanta. We're crossing about 18,000 feet. And we're going to be there in no time. We're going to be there in no time. No, you're not late at all. You're just in time for right before approach and landing. So yeah, I was going to continue with a second flight on this stream, but unfortunately it seems I still have a bit more work to do with fine-tuning the stream settings. I'm going to have to switch back down to 2K streaming. The 4K streaming is just not working out, so I'm going to have to switch back down to 2K streaming. I cut down my bandwidth as well for the streaming, the bitrate, sorry, not the bandwidth, the bitrate for streaming, so I have to do that. So unfortunately I will have to cut this live stream short after we land today into Atlanta. However, my next live stream is going to be a much longer one, so is the live stream after that. I'm just going to do longer live streams now, but this one I'm not going to be able to continue because I need to change some settings, which I can only change when I'm not live streaming. So yeah, but anyway, we seem to be doing well coming down through. You know what, let's go ahead and take a look in the cockpit, see what's going on today, shall we? We're descending, as you can tell. There's a bit of weather situation in Atlanta. I think it is still VFR, but there might be a bit of rain. Not so sure. The last time I landed into Atlanta, which wasn't too long ago, there was a bit of a choppy weather situation. But yeah, let's take a look at what's going on here. Okay, let's reduce the range on that. Seriously, reduce the range on that. Okay, there we go. The airport is somewhere beneath us. Should be able to see it shortly. I was frozen waiting for bus from work for 2 hours on frosty weather. Came back home, fall asleep. Oh, nice. Well, thank you very much for tuning in, EM. Thank you very much for tuning in. Frosty weather. I am not a big fan of the cold either. I hate it. I hate the cold myself. And it's pretty cold right now where I am. So, well, it's not really that cold. It's just cold for me because I'm really not used to cold weather. So yeah, I feel your pain when you say you're frozen. What was the temperature today, EM, where you were? Let's go ahead and arm our ground spoilers, put our auto brake at low because that's all we need. Let's switch our pressure to standard. Okay, let's do the same. I mean, not standard. From standard, let's switch to local pressure. And that is looking very, very good here. So yeah, the airport is somewhere off beneath us. Unfortunately, we can't take a look because of all the clouds. Nonetheless, it's down there somewhere, and we're going to be landing into there shortly into Atlanta. Okay. We just need to turn left from the runway after we land. That should take us to our, parking for the day. Oh yeah, it's pretty cold where I am too, EM. Well, it's cold for me. If you guys, if you know what I mean, it's like 18, 16 degrees. That for me is freezing. I'm just going to be honest with you. That for me is freezing. -10, but with strong cold winds, it feels like -15 in Moscow. -10, feeling like -15, I would die. Just telling you right now, I would die. I cannot stand the cold. Maybe that's why I like Dubai so much. I mean, heat is not so much of an issue as it is the cold for me. I cannot take the cold, man. Damn. -10 feels like -15. Good Lord. That is a death sentence for me. Let's go outside here, see if we can see the airport somewhere. That's a very good looking scene down there through the clouds, but I don't think we have a visual on the airport. It's somewhere here. It's somewhere here. Just can't see it. Anyway. It's like 18 degrees or 16 degrees or something like that where I am. Let me check. Yep, it's just 17 degrees where I am. And here I am complaining it's cold. But yeah. All right, we're looking good. Look at that. Okie dokie, let's have a look here. Coming up on 10,000 feet, let's go ahead and turn on that landing light. Let's turn on... How far can A400 go? I'll check and let you know. I have no idea how far it can actually go. The engines are fairly powerful. They have got 4 propeller engines, and I really love this aircraft, to be honest. It's very fun. Very fun aircraft. I just wish there was a detailed, more study level representation of it. But apart from that, it's pretty good. It is a pretty good. We'll turn this light on as well. What the hell? Okay. How far can it go? Let's find out. Range of the A400. Let us find out, ladies and gentlemen. Range of the A400. 8,900 kilometers. It can go 8,900 kilometers or 4,700 nautical miles. That is if it's empty. With a maximum payload of 37 tons, it can go 4,500 kilometers. Okay, that's how far we can fly with this thing. And as you can tell, we have gone into some choppy weather here. We're in the middle of some very unpleasant clouds, a little bit of break above us. There's a sky, but we're in the middle of some very unpleasant looking clouds. Look at the lights on this thing. Doesn't that look glorious? Oof, what a fat bird. What a beautiful bird. What a beautiful bird this is. There we go, breaking through the clouds there. Let's take a look at that. Very nice. Okie dokie. Our speed is now below 260, somewhere near 250. That is good. We're making the final turn onto the runway here, but we're still fairly high, although we're on top of our vertical profile quite well, so I'm not too worried. We need to drop our flaps at some point, but the speed is still fairly high. Okay, speed is still fairly high, so I'm going to wait for that. Seatbelts are on automatic, so they've turned on, but we're going to keep them on anyway. We're going to put this exactly the way it is. We don't really need the weather radar, but we're going to leave it exactly how it is. That's armed, that's set. We can activate our approach here. Let's just do that. Activating approach. We can wait for that, I guess. Yeah, we'll wait for the turn before we do that. But we are about there, ladies and gentlemen. We are about there. And it is dark everywhere. We're entering clouds again. As you can tell, we're entering some dark clouds once again. There we go. Good Lord. It's going to be an interesting landing. I'm going to use the joystick for this one because I have a feeling it's going to be a shaky one today. I'm going to turn on the LS here just so we have an idea of where the glide slope is. It's looking good. I'm going to increase the range there, decrease the range really. So there we go. That's looking fine. Let's decrease the range here as well. Looking good. Oh, that doesn't seem right. Okay. Why are we still descending? Why are we still descending? There is Too much of a vertical deviation there. Hopefully that slows down. But wow. Welcome to Atlanta. We are in Atlanta at the moment, pretty much. We just flew over it anyway. So we're coming into land at this point. There we go. Turning in once again. Let's go ahead and activate approach. Let's do that quickly. Activate approach. Hello. Confirm that. Okay, approach activated. Let's go ahead and turn on sky dolly. Sky dolly turned on, and there is Atlanta ahead of us. We can see the couple of runways there we're going to be flying into. Everything looks good. We've got the ILS and the glide slope. The glide slope and the localizer have been caught here pretty much. We can switch modes now that we have visual of the runway there. So we don't need to worry about any of this. We are already at a radio altimetric height of 2000, which means it's time for us to put down that flap there, ladies and gentlemen. As we prepare for landing, we can see the flaps are dropping. All right, very, very nice. Let's go outside, drop that gear as well. There it goes. There we go. Dropping landing gear. It takes a long time for the landing gear to drop on this thing. There we go. We got landing gear down. There we are. Brilliant. Let's go back in there. We are tuning ourselves in to the ILS. We can put our flaps to almost landing position now. There we go. Landing position done. And let's it's still too early for the glide slope anyway, but we can go and press our localizer button. Localizer caught. Excellent. Good. Coming into land, everybody. Coming into land. Looks more profound when C-17. I don't know what you mean, EM. It is a very similar aircraft to the C-17, but I believe the C-17 might be superior. I'm not so sure. The A400 is cooler in my opinion because of the propeller engines, you know. It's really cool. Very beautiful aircraft, as you can tell from all sides. Very, very lovely. Here we are coming into land. The scene is looking absolutely gorgeous. Okay, let's see. What point do we turn on the glide slope? You know what, I'm just going to go ahead and put approach on right now. We're a little low for that, but the diamond is coming in. Everything is perfectly according to plan. As soon as we catch the glide slope, somewhere around 1,000 feet, I will go ahead and disengage the autopilot and fly this in manually. On the C-17, if you do press certain buttons, the lights stop working, but that's not an issue we have with this particular aircraft, so thank God for that. Let's turn this light on as well. This aircraft, all the lights work. Yep, I remember last flight with the C-17 we had the issues with the lights. We got a couple of aircrafts behind us. Got nobody in front, which is great. Yet to catch the glide slope. We should catch it any second now. Glide slope has been caught. Excellent. 1,900 feet. Sky dolly running, ready for landing. So we're going to disengage around 1,000 feet and let me get a feel for the aircraft from there. And the weather too, because today's weather isn't exactly... It seems a bit... Well, there's a bit of a crosswind, but it's more of a headwind component, so it's not too bad. It is not too bad at all. Does this thing have auto land? I am not sure. In the case, we're not going to be using it, so who cares? Very nice. Let's take a quick look around. beautiful. It is very nice to fly. Oh, look at that. That just looks gorgeous. Very gorgeous. Okay, I think it's time we focus on the landing there. 1400 coming up. Runway ahead. Got the refueling probe in front of us. Okay, 1200. Getting ready to disconnect. It is pretty stable at the moment. It's a very, very good looking aircraft. 1000 feet coming up.
1000.
Okay. Autopilot disengaged. My aircraft. Yeah, it's a bit choppy today, as you can probably tell. But we're gonna make a good landing. Let's try. It's definitely choppy. Ooh, that is rough. That is rough.
400.
Yeah, that is rough. That is very rough. Okay. I don't know why it's so choppy today, but let's see. There's not much in the way of wind, but it's just not...
300.
There's a bit of turbulence.
200.
Okay. Come on, stabilize. It's not stabilizing. Good lord.
100.
It's just not stabilizing. Okay.
100 above.
Auto throttle limited.
40. 30. 20. 10.
Okay. Oof. That was a very bad approach. But, there we go. Very bad approach, but still, for the approach, that landing wasn't bad at all. I am not complaining. There we go. Now we can turn off to our left somewhere here. And that should take us to our parking. Okay, we'll take the next left, or which left do we take? Yeah, we can take our next left, and then we can park our lovely aircraft here. Strobe light off, please. Landing lights can come off. We'll turn those off as well. Okay. Let's turn it. Let's put our flaps up. Well, it's a military aircraft. Very unstable approach, but the actual touchdown was good. So we're gonna go ahead and check on the touchdown in just a bit. Just find ourselves a little parking here, and we'll go and check on how the touchdown went. But I'm pretty sure it wasn't as bad as it could have been. So there we go, turning in. Very good. Excellent. We'll now park ourselves somewhere here. We'll take one of these parkings. Yep, very good. Very unstable approach. The weather was not on my side. I don't know what was going on today, but it was not on my side. For some reason, the spoilers are still out. Yep, we've put them back down. There goes. Good. Let's turn to the right here. We'll take a look at the landing replay. So, not done just yet. There we go. Turn it off to our left. And then find ourselves a little parking spot. We'll take the next one. Yep, there's a light here, so we'll take this one. There we go. Let's make that turn. Military transport. Yes. That is right. Take this turn. Try and park ourselves in. I think I need to go outside to get a better view here. There we go. Parking brake on. Okay, that is good enough of a parking right there. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Atlanta. Welcome to Atlanta. We'll go ahead and take a look at our landing replays now before we shut down the engines and all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and take a look at our landing replay. Let's see how that's going to look like first before we go any further. Alright, we'll try from this side. Okay. Good. Alright. Let's pull that back. Let's pull that back. Give the flaps some time to drop. Drop around here, okay. There we go. Let's give the flaps some time to drop here. Let's have a look at that landing replay, shall we? Landing replay number 1, ladies and gentlemen. It's a very, very unstable approach. I just realized there was a better place in Atlanta for us to park. There's an actual military cargo parking spot that we should have taken. Instead, we're at a GA parking. It's not good. Anyway, doesn't matter. There is an actual military parking there. Nonetheless, let's go ahead and take a look at the landing replay. Very unstable approach. Touchdown was actually pretty decent. Okay. We'll take a look at that one more time. Let's look at it from this angle so we get a better understanding of how that landing went. The wind was not very good today. The turbulence was all over the place. This was a very unstable approach. In real life, you would easily abort this approach because it's very unstable. But here at Fly the Noob, we don't like doing that. We like to make the landing. Look at that. Yep, that aircraft is all over the place. But at the end, the actual touchdown was very good. Brilliant. Brilliant. Very shaky, but still excellent. Very, very good. Let's take a look at a couple more landing replays from different angles and views. This one's a fun one. Let's take a look at it from right here. Let's check out, not this view. Yeah, this view's alright. Yeah, we'll check out this view. Why not? See how it went here. Oof. All right. Excellent. Let's check out a few more views here. Oh, you know what? The landing gear view is going to be pretty cool on this one. So let's check this out. There we go. Let's check this out. A400M landing into Atlanta. All right. Not too terrible. Perfect. That was a good one. I didn't expect such a good landing with that kind of approach, but there we go. Let's take a look at it from another view. Let's try this one. Why not? We'll try this one, and then we'll try a couple more views from the outside. Then we'll hop on inside and take a few more looks at that landing. A very, very shaky approach. Now this thing is lit up. It's lit up like a Christmas tree. It is so well lit. Excellent. Let's try a couple more views now. How about this one? Let's try this one. Alrighty. Let us try let's try this view. Ignore the warnings. There we go.
400.
I don't know why the
300.
cockpit annunciations are showing up here. They shouldn't, but ignore all that. So yeah, let's just see.
Too low, flaps. Too low, flaps.
Obviously, these are false warnings now.
Flaps.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Excellent. Let's check out the other side as well.
Pull up.
300,
Seat rate.
200,
Too low, flaps. Too low, flaps.
100, 40,
Too low.
30.
Flaps.
20, 10.
Okie dokie. Final landing view. And we're gonna call it a day.
Too low. Flaps.
Gonna call it a day.
Too low.
After this landing replay, we can go ahead and shut down the aircraft, and then we're gonna call it for this live stream.
30, 20, 10.
Very nice. From the next live stream, it's gonna be a bit longer, so let's see how that goes. Let me just play that one last time.
Too low. Flaps. Too low. Flaps.
40,
Too low. Flaps.
30, 20, 10.
There we go. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and fast forward that all the way to the parking. Voila. Alrighty. Let's now go ahead and shut down this aircraft. To do that, we don't need to worry about the brake temperature and all that stuff. I'm gonna go up here. I'm gonna turn on the APU for a second. Should I do that? Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and turn up the APU for a second. I'm gonna go down here, see if I can get the GPU connected. There we go. I'll switch to external power here, and I'm gonna shut down all the engines right here. Gonna feather them first. There we go. And finally we can shut them down. I believe Tom Cruise did his on a C-17, because I think it would be a bit too dangerous to hang off the side of this aircraft because of the propellers. I think he did it on the C-17 on takeoff. Yeah, I think he did it on the C-17. Alright, so that's shut down. Let's come up here. We can turn off the ADIRS systems. We don't really need them. APU is now available. We can turn on the APU bleed for a second there. External power can come off. We can turn off all the fuel tanks. We should have started with the standby tanks first, but anyway. Switch them all off. We can now go ahead and switch off that, switch off that. Obviously, we should have switched this off. Switch that down to both. That can come off. These should have been off. That can come off. Our formation lights can all go off. Wing lights can come off. Anything else that needs switching off or switching on anywhere here? I don't see anything. Okay, we'll just switch to external power. We'll cut down the APU too. And Yeah, you can actually go ahead and open up some stuff. Door 1 left, main cargo, bay lights up. Main cargo. Insufficient blue hydraulic pressure, right, because of the APU, I guess. We need the APU on for that, don't we? Anyway, I don't really care about that. We are done with this for now. Let's turn off external power. Turn off nav lights. Turn all of that off. There we go. We can shut down the battery as well. There we go, everybody. That was today's flight. Okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's flight there. If you did, please do not forget to leave a like. I don't know what's going on with the views here, but there you go. Whoa, the views aren't working. Anyway, there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed today's flight. That was a fun little trip to take a look at some of the other aircrafts available in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, not just our regular aircrafts. So something different for these live streams. I'm gonna go and change my live stream settings so I can stream a little longer without putting too much strain on the system. So I'm gonna switch down to 2K streaming from 4K, which doesn't really make a difference if I'm being honest. So yeah, hope you guys had a good time today. I had a fun time flying this A400M from Charlotte to Atlanta. Feels much better. Yeah, it does. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch up the settings there. All right. So yeah, thank you once again, EM, for tuning in to the live stream. Much appreciated. Thank you very much, Liam, for tuning in as well. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Hope you guys have a good day. So from the next one, we're gonna switch it up with the stream. But yeah, keep flying indeed, and I shall catch you guys soon. Bye bye.